University of South Carolina has a textbook out where they describe what conservatives are and what conservatives believe. And I take umbrage with some of what they say. And the rest of it, I would have to ask the progressives, hang on just a second. Help me out on something. You don't think people are lazy or bad? Okay, hang on just a second. Let me give you this. Conservatism is the philosophy that individuals are responsible for themselves. Government should provide minimal interference in people's lives, and change is generally unnecessary. No, that has nothing to do with it.
That's not a tenet of conservatism.
Who has ever said, is there anybody that you know that was a Reagan guy or anybody that said, and you know what, we're not going to change. Ever. There's change is unnecessary. What are you talking about? Change is unnecessary. Well, then explain why we love the founding fathers and you don't. They were the ultimate changers. Tell me why Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican. Because wasn't he for a little bit of a change? Oh, all right. Popple and Leitninger emphasize three concepts that characterize conservatives. First, I'd like to know who Popple and Leitninger are, because they sound like guys who know.
Wait, the Popple and Leitninger?
Yeah.
No, it's not the Lagner. It's different.
Leitninger.
It's Lagner.
Oh, Lagner?
Lagner.
Okay. All right.
It's not that one, but it's
the
the other
one
one.
you know,
Okay.
Stu. It's the one you know, because he has really defined conservatives and our movement. First, he says, conservatives usually oppose change and thrive on tradition. They believe that change usually produces more negative than positive consequences.
Oh, yeah, that's what we believe.
Well, Leitninger
nailed it.
He's got us. You got us there.
Dead to rights, man.
You got us there.
This is crushing analysis coming from Leitninger.
It really is. Yes, change usually, kids. That's why now you know why Daddy and Mommy never changed your diaper. Mm-hmm. It usually
leads to bad results.
Yeah, and
okay. Now that was Lightning Burger's stance.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I think, comes from Popple.
Okay,
No.
yeah. Hang on. Okay, he says
Because that was so Lightning Burger, that
It
first
was.
part.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you knew that, right?
Usually change. Okay, so hang on. Usually change produces more negative than positive consequences. Thus, they generally favor keeping things as they are. In other words, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stop. Those are two different things. Yes. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I think everyone with a brain should be for that.
You know, I bet that's a constitutional reference because, as a rule, we don't want the Constitution fixed because, as a rule, it ain't broke. So don't fix it.
Well, no,
leave it alone.
No, they're just talking about generally speaking. They believe that it produces more negative than positive consequences. Well, yes. For instance, healthcare was broken. Did we want to change it? Yes. Did we want to throw it all away? No. Okay. Second, conservatives tend to take a basically pessimistic view of human nature. Now, this is really important. Listen to this. Conservatives basically take a pessimistic view of human nature, that people are conceived as being corrupt. May I ask, are people in their natural state corrupt? Without any governors, without any rules, without any regulations, without any God, without any whatever it is, without any self-control, are people in their natural state corrupt?
Well, yes.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you? Stu, are they?
I suppose in this question, yes.
Yes, their natural state.
Right.
Okay, so we basically have a pessimistic view of human nature. What is human nature? Human nature, what did our founders say? Human nature, when you have the chance to grab power and money, humans will generally grab it and screw everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
I mean, I think people are generally good. And I think
And we're not talking about people. We're talking about human nature.
Humans and people. That was my mistake.
We're talking about, read the book. Basically, pessimistic view of human nature. Mm-hmm. What is human nature? Right. Are we in the natural state?
Right.
Angels.
You want to start to do bad things, and then you hopefully control yourself by some governor. So yes, I would say if you're talking,
natural man is an enemy of God.
Yeah,
natural man is an enemy of God.
So if you just don't control yourself.
Right.
You're going to do bad
Natural man without any governors.
In a political context, I have a problem with that statement. But in a human nature context, I understand.
Yeah, and that's what he's talking
about. That's what he wrote.
Right, but he's talking about politics, which is why I think he's trying to go for something else.
People are conceived, really, are they? People are conceived as being corrupt. You know what? Tell me in our society that people aren't corrupt.
Oh, look what's going on.
Look what's going on. People in our society, when you talk about politics, if you want to throw it back into politics, yeah, okay. Are your neighbors corrupt? No, I hope not. I don't think so. I generally trust people too. But Stu, we're talking politics. You just said it. Are people in politics generally corrupt?
Well, that doesn't say people in politics.
No, it says people are conceived. Oh, so you want to have it both ways?
No, I don't. What I'm saying is what I think, and I'm sure I'm making a point you agree with, which is I think what he's trying to say is people can't control themselves, so they need the government. And I don't agree with that. People aren't self-centered, lazy, and incapable of true charity, which is what it goes on to say here. I think people, if you leave them mostly to their own devices, are going to create a damn good society, and that's what we've done here.
Here's the difference.
Hold on just a second. Wait a minute. You think he's trying to say that conservatives believe without the government, people will go bad, and so they need big government?
I'm saying they're making the point that it's bad that conservatives think this way because they think that you need something like God or something to be this overarching thing. And of course, I agree that you do need that. But I just think that they're trying to make the opposite political point, that they need to be there to help everybody.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Okay. People are conceived of being corrupt, self-centered, lazy, and incapable of true charity. The incapable of true charity. Now, let me just get through this. This is crazy because they're trying to make the point that they don't feel this way. They're trying to make us look evil. We're incapable of true charity. Okay. Conservatives, every study shows, conservatives are more charitable than progressives. Every study shows that. By far.
It's not even close.
Okay. We happen to believe in America where we take care of each other. Mm-hmm. The progressives believe that people are incapable of charity, and that's why taxes are charity to them. You have to have it taken away from you because you are incapable, and quite honestly, they are incapable. Most are incapable, unless it's an art. If it's an art museum, then they're pretty charitable. If it's a ballet, then they're pretty charitable. Generally speaking, when it comes to, hey, let's help the needy, they're not as charitable. Let's go help these people over with this particular project and actually give, not get money from the state or anything else, but actually reach into your pocket and give. Conservatives beat them every time, but it's a landslide. It's a landslide. So we are the ones who believe that people are charitable. But here's what's really interesting. They say that conservatives believe people are corrupt, self-centered, and the one that everybody's focusing on here is lazy. Lazy. Oh yeah, they're lazy. Okay, let's look at this lazy thing for a second. Progressives are proving that they are the ones who believe people are lazy. Because we're the ones that are saying, do your own homework. No, you should be the one that is a self-starter. You should be an entrepreneur. You should be able to pursue your own happiness. You should be able to start your own business. You should be able to go your own way because we know people are not lazy. In the natural state, are people lazy? Well, let's ask Cass Sunstein, because isn't that the point of animal spirits? Isn't that the point of nudge? The point of nudge is you're so lazy that if they put the French fries out of arm's reach, you'll go for the carrots. because you're like, I really want French fries. That's a long way to reach. Who's the one that thinks we're lazy, and who is making the entire country based on laziness? And I'm not talking about welfare or anything else. I'm talking about you're mentally lazy. That you just, you know what, you can't make it. You can't make it, so you're going to need me. You can't make it. You know, you're so stupid. You're so lazy that you won't reach over the carrots to get the French fries. That's the whole point of nudge. That's the whole point of you're so stupid, you're so lazy that we will have the IRS just intimidate you and you'll give up. So tell me who's lazy. Tell me who actually believes that people are lazy. Tell me who actually believes that people are, when left entirely alone, we believe that people will find God and they'll find each other. And when they're left alone, they will bottom out, and so they will have to change their ways. And when they change their ways, they will own it. That's the whole thing, man. This is an ownership society. Progressivism, socialism, communism is not an ownership society. This is an ownership society. And I'm not talking about owning your own car or your own house. First of all, let's just stop there for a second. If somebody else owns your car, have you ever driven a rental car? And do you treat a rental car? You should. Do you treat a rental car exactly the way you treat your brand new car? Because you get into a rental car, they're pretty new. Usually brand new. Do you drive that exactly the same way, or do you take a little bit more risk with it? Do you let's see what this engine can do? A little bit more than what you would do with your car. Do you treat it exactly the same way? You might, because you'll know you'll be penalized if there's a scratch, a ding, or anything else on it when you get it back. So, let's look at that for a second. Does ownership matter? Yes. If you're renting a house, do you care about that house as much as you do if you own that house? No. Let somebody else fix it. It's not my problem. If you were given that house, do you notice that the inner cities, these big 1960s social experiments that were based on the Soviet Union, have you seen what a death trap those things are? Why is that? Because there's no ownership there. We're an ownership society, but that's just things and stuff. Conservatives believe that we are really an ownership society. I own my mistakes. I own my mistakes. Own it. Own it. Whatever happened to you, own it. Oh, mommy used to beat me. Own it. What are you going to do about it? Own it. It's your deal. I'm an alcoholic. Own it. But on the flip side, we also, because we demand that you own your own mistakes and you own the things that have happened in your life, because we believe you are more than a collection of your experiences, because we actually believe in redemption, we also believe you have a right to own the good things in your life. Yes, Mr. President, I did build that. You weren't here. I had to have a team of attorneys that sat here and tried to sift through the laws to see what I could and couldn't do. You were an obstruction. I built this in spite of you. That's the difference. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be somebody who is always given stuff or owns stuff? You want to live in a society where everybody is excusing everything until you just end up at the bottom of a pool of mediocrity at best? Or do you want to reach out of that slime, get out of that pool, and own it? Be who you really are. Be a man. Own it. Reach for something higher. That's who I am. I think that's who you are. And yes, people are corrupt. They are self-centered. Have you seen what our society is churning out? When there is no self-regulation, you have to have regulation because a society falls apart. We believe in self-regulation. And when there is no self-regulation, when you torpedo the churches, when you torpedo anything that helps people be better, and in their own way, I don't care what church, I don't care what synagogue, I don't care if you're atheist, if you're Penn Jillette and you found a system that makes you live a decent, honorable life, good, celebrate it. I'm going to help you. I'll help you and I will uphold and I will promote, because what you're doing helps the general welfare of our country. I will promote the general welfare. I won't tear it down. Because as we tear those things down, the general welfare of our people goes down. People are corrupt. And the more power they get, the more corrupt they become. But this is just the beginning of this textbook from South Carolina. You spending money? The University of South Carolina? Well, South Carolina, I really shouldn't probably say anything to you because you accept Lindsey Graham as your senator. This is the influence of the progressives in education. This is what they're teaching. And you know what? I'll bet you a lot of this textbook Lindsey Graham agrees with because he's a progressive too. And what is it that progressives believe? They know better than you. They will teach you. Because the little people don't have to really be listened to. We'll talk to them every 6 years for an election, but we're not going to really talk to them. We're just telling them because they're rubes. They're stupid. They're lazy. They'll go for the path of least resistance. Unless they have self-discipline. And when they have that, look out. Look out.